What's going on, guys? Duelim here, back again with another video. And today, we're going to be going over my Week 5 of Cosmic Crucible, how my defense did, how I did overall, and the adjustments I'm going to make for week number 6, and also some alternative options for your defense that does not involve the full turtle meta. So if you're ready, let's get into it. All right, coming in, you can see I did lose my first round, but then I won the next two, so 2-1 on the week. Not too bad at all. We're going to get into the fights here. So round number 1, I went against C. Taylor, 6'7", 6'6", and Mr. Man is quite a large boy. So room number 1, he had Old Man Logan with Extreme, and I tried to cabal it with Zuggs and Zemo. Zemo did not get a crit, and this defense is actually really good because when Zemo goes, his passive gets dodged because they all have dodge, and then the only person you can hit on is Bishop because he's got the taunt. And if Zemo doesn't get a crit on the Bishop, you lose. And you also only have one chance because once you hit Bishop, he's going to counterattack and break the chain. So this defense is really, really smart, and I really liked it, honestly. This is a great option to have in Room 1 or Room 2, honestly. It doesn't really matter. And then I tried to come in with an APOC combo. That got decimated, and then I tried again and got really lucky with the Zemo. At this point, I was like, whatever. We're in full test mode. This guy is definitely a very large person. He also had Mephisto on defense. So I knew I was up against it, that's for sure. Room number 2, we tried to one-shot it with Tangled, Eternals, and BTS. It did not work. Came in with a sack of Kestrel and friends with Pegasus, and then came back in, and it did really, really good. And I actually used Loki instead of Big Time Spider-Man because I knew I didn't have to worry about the Black Knight anymore. But again, G19, 2-Diamond Black Knight. Guy is massive. Room number 3, we did a double sack against Mephisto. It's literally you load in and you don't touch a button. You just load in, you pause, and you wait 5 minutes. I did that twice, and then I came in and New Warriors absolutely slaughters this room. Gwen with the special takes the taunt off Zuggs, and then you all in Mephisto, and he dies extremely quickly. It's like trivial. Room number 4, you'll see I did not even full clear it. I tried to do the SD with Dokken comp. I really should have done CGR. That was just, it was just an oversight by me. I wanted to try Dokken, but I should have done Cosmic Ghost Rider instead against the Spider Society with Tangled. The Tangled is interesting here because it adds another dynamic because you have to control the Tangled members or else charges get up and then you've got issues. But I should have known to just do CGR here and it would have gone better. And you'll see I could not even clear it because Pav literally deleted my entire team here. And then here they just out-healed even through a Vol ultimate. So it is what it is. But yeah, room number 5. Love this. This worked really well. Red Hulk, APOC, speed comp. And then I used AA because they were minions. So I wanted to counteract the rewind that Mr. Negative minions would put out from killing them. This was super straightforward. Cable did die, but who cares? And then room number 6, I used MOE with Northstar, and Northstar does take off the revives from this team here. So a little bit of interesting uses for Northstar. He's super small and he's really, really squishy, so that's kind of problematic when trying to use him, but he is an option. Coming into defense, this guy used MOE Doom against my Extreme Dorm, which is a great pull for an Extreme Dorm with no Nightcrawler, so I'll take it. Room number 2. Had to triple tap my M for M with Rogue and Bishop. And Nightcrawler and Sunspot. So this is just really, really good. And then came back in with a Rolk, Mercs, Omega Red. Still couldn't do anything. And I watched the replay on this. The only reason he won this is because Nova got a very lucky permanent kill on Old Man Logan with his ultimate. If he did not, I would have won this, and he would not have cleared room 2. Room number 3, we had full Superior 6, and he tried to SD Quicksilver it, and Lizard just ate his lunch there. Then came back in with Eternals, Northstar, Guardian, Sunfire. I mean, you can see how big this guy really is. I mean, he's got a diamond on Northstar, 2 diamonds on Sunfire, 7/7 on Guardian. Like, that's ridiculous. And then still couldn't clear it up, and then came in with an NA, and NA finally got it done. Room number 4, APOC Hive Mind against a BK Spider Society. And I have seen this fail. This is a million punch down, so this is not a for sure counter. So don't look at this and go, oh, this is easy, I could do this. Like, this is still not an easy counter that can definitely turn sideways very, very quickly. Room number 5, he used Cabal with Zemo against the Hive Mind Sus. Super straightforward, super easy. He even used Lizard here as well. And then room number 6, he was able to use Pegasus to take out my Infinity Watch Quicksilver because my Infinity Watch Quicksilver is on the tiny side. But I did lose round number 1 again. I dropped one more fight than he did. And then I would have lost on efficiency as well. But it was a very big punch-up. And honestly, I could have played better. So let's see what we got for round number 2 going against Dr. Red Wolf. Coming in against Dr. Red Wolf, room number 1, I used MOE Doom against an Extreme with Dorm. And you see I had issues. I ended up having to push the Nightcrawler a little too far. And he got his passive and it was issues. And I came back in with an SD cleanup. Room number 2, we had New Warriors Echo, and the pre-taunt was next to Old Man Logan here. So this is the problem if you put the pre-taunt next to Old Man Logan. But if you put him away from Old Man Logan, a Vulture just does it. So that's why I have the defense that I have. You'll see here, my New Warriors are massive. I have a 3-diamond Firestar and a 3-diamond Deathpool. So it makes this way less sketchy. But you'll see how this works. So essentially, Noir goes first here. And ults, and it misses. Even if he hits Echo, it doesn't matter. I hit the basic on Zuggs. I hit the ultimate on Zuggs. And then I literally hit the special from Deathpool on Zuggs to spread more bleeds to Old Man Logan. And Old Man Logan literally just falls over. That's it. And even if Zuggs died there from the Firestar ultimate, I think the Deathpool special on Old Man Logan still would have killed him as well. Because of that percent health damage and because my death pool is so large. But I wouldn't advise that if you don't have a very, 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 very large death pool and Firestar. If you want to augment that, you can actually use Guardian on offense with them over Dagger. Obviously here I needed the Echo because of the Noir. But Guardian gives them offense up on spawn, and he is ridiculously good because it makes your Firestar and Deathpool hit that much harder. It's so, so nuts. I love it. Coming into room number 3, we used Eternals, BTS, Omega Red, and Nova against Infinity Watch. Snooze Fest. Room number 4, this one, don't try Cabal into this. Don't do it because they have blocks, and Vulture, if he doesn't get a crit on Black Knight, it gets sketchy like this. I brought in a Morgan Le Fay as like an insurance policy as well, and then I was a dum-dum and targeted the only 3 people that didn't have blocks on them, so I didn't get a crit again. So you can do this without getting crits, but it's not easy, and your characters can die. You see my Namor is as big as Namor gets. Iron Patriot's a 5'5 G19. Leader is a 6'6 G19, so like it can get sketchy real quick. So be careful of this matchup. It's not fun at all. Room number 5, same old counter that we usually use for the Hive Mind Sus. I love this Red Hulk APOC counter. It's great. It means you don't have to use Cabal here, and I can use Cabal elsewhere, like in room 4. And then in room number 6, this room caught me off guard. That's right. I always forget about the spreading buffs in room number 6 when people ultimate. So I literally ran out of teams essentially to use here. So I just threw in the last big characters I had because I had to clean up room number 1 with Secret Defenders. So here was my first mistake. I should have put that on Tigra because then now Tigra is getting all of the buffs here from Coulson being next to her. And Tigra and Ronin are just going to just destroy me. Look at this Tigra ult. Like, just destroys my whole team. Luckily, I had Wolverine here, and Wolverine was the saving grace of this. And you'll see why in a second. But you see literally Kestrel's dead, Noir's dead, Wolverine's dead. Noir just came back. But now Wolverine ults, kills 2 people, one-shots to them both. Wolverine is absolutely disgusting, and ults turn 1 in this room, which is nutty. You'll see he had a basic twice there, and then you'll see here the death proofs the speed up, and then he ults again and takes out the Coulson. But Wolverine, absolutely disgusting. Take him up. He is so, so, so good after the rework. And the fact that he can ult twice if he gets a kill with the first hit is so good for him. Also, an alliance mate taking Zemo to 2 diamonds there. He knows how it works. But yeah, so that one worked very, very poorly, but it was a win nonetheless. So that was a pretty interesting defense, but I don't recommend it, honestly. If I had, you know, a brain cell in my head, I would have been able to take that out way better. Room number 1 on defense, he used Superior 6 against my Extreme Dorm, which is another great pull and not the best efficiency, an 83.55. I will take that any day of the week. Room number 2, he tried to New Warriors, the double pre-taunt Sunfire, couldn't, left up Old Man Logan and Nightcrawler, and then took an MOE to take it out. And he literally just did the focus fire on Old Man Logan and kills him turn like 3. But I'll take this. A New Warrior sack and an MOE. It took 2 pretty meta teams to take him out. I'll take it. Room number 3, he tried to APOC, Rolk, Doom, Emma, Hella, my Superior 6. Did not work, and they came back in with this conglomerate of cleanup and was able to take it out. Room number 4, again, SD, Vulture did not work. Had to come in and clean up with Tangled, Kestrel, Iron Man Infinity War, and Starbrand. This team causing a lot of problems for people, which I love. Room number 5, he used the Zemo, Lizard, Cabal comp again here. And then room number 6, we got Tangled, BTS, Omega Red, and Nova taking out my Quicksilver with Infinity Watch. But that was a win for round number 2, which was great. I only dropped 1, he dropped 2. Round number 3 going against Ace Hunter. Shout out to that guy. He was in my chat the morning of these attacks, which was pretty fun. Room number 1, we did Eternals, BTS, Omega Red, Nova, because I used Tangled somewhere else, so I didn't have the Nova or Omega Red. Super easy kill nonetheless. Coming into room number 2, I did a Cabal, Zemo, Vulture against this. And Vulture turn 1 specials can get a crit. Zemo turn 2 can get crits. I mean, it's pretty straightforward. It's Cabal into this, and then Cabal just absolutely rolls this team. Room number 3, I did SD 4-piece with a 5th thrown in there. I just chose Starbrand for memes. But I could have chose somebody that actually would have done something, but I didn't. And it took out a full Superior 6 minus Lizard, obviously, putting in the Mysterio, which means I'm able to SD this because there's no Lizard. Room number 4, we came in with an Invader sack, and then I did a New Warriors Guardian. That's right, Guardian with the offense up. Gives massive, massive damage to New Warriors and means they just hit so much harder. And if anybody dies, Guardian passively puts defense down on the enemies as well, which is really, really great. And if you didn't know, offense up actually increases focus as well. So Gwen has a better chance of pulling that taunt off of Black Knight. But this was after a sack because I don't screw with this team anymore. I've learned my lesson, as you saw in round number 1 today. And then room number 5, same counter again. APOC, Roll, Cable, Emma, Weaver. This is where I used the Weaver. Why I didn't use it in room number 1. And then room number 6, we used MOE Doom here. And this is essentially control the team so they don't take a turn. And then Doom gets to ult, takes Kang on the ride. And then essentially you basic into a bunch of vulnerables. So Kang gets a bunch of speed bar and will take 4 turns in a row. Because what you're going to do is you're going to Kang ult turn 1 to get the big rewind on everybody. But then Kang ult is only on a 3-turn cooldown, or a 4-turn cooldown. So if you basic into vulnerables, he gets enough speed to take 4 turns in a row with the Doom Ride. And then he could just ult again when they're all super, super low. So it works really well. On defense, my man used MOE with North Star. Doing really well into this, actually. Didn't need Doom, didn't need APOC, nothing like that. So that did really well. Room number 2, used a Wakanda sack here, and then came in with a Tangled Eternals Vulture. And don't be fooled, this Tangled Eternals Vulture almost failed. This was not pretty at all, and you could see the turn bonus. Took him 26 turns to kill it, even though it was just these 3. So that was still not an easy fight at all. Room number 3, one-shot it with good old Doom, Rolk, Kestrel, Hella, and APOC. But, I mean, you're taking APOC, Doom. You're taking 3 mythics, the best horseman there is, and Hella into this. This is taking a big team to take out, and it's still only an 83.56. Coming into room 4, Invader sack, just like I did. And then came in with SD Lizard. But again, he didn't have Lizard for on defense, so it made his SD comp way worse. So he was able to use it on offense, though, and it worked okay. Mine worked just as well, a 7950. He did a 7951 and had Lizard on offense. And then room number 5, we had the BTS Zemo and Cabal comp here. The BTS takes off the taunt from Zug's turn 1. I did change as well. I had Hide the Pickle here. And then he Cabaled it with Zemo. It's pretty straightforward with Cabal. But if you don't have the luxury of Caballing this, then you got problems. And then room number 6, we have Darkhold Nova going against the Infinity Watch Quicksilver. And again, a little bit inefficient, 56. So that led to a win in round number 3. So let's go take a look at my defense. All right, coming into my defense, I've changed shirts because it's 10 hours later. We've got Extreme with Rogue and Dorm, and this room has been taking bigger things than I have ever imagined it would take. People have taken Superior 6 into this. People have taken MOE Doom into this, and it has not done the best. This room is definitely doing what it needs to, and it's taking enough off of the opponent's offense that it's screwing them for the other rooms. So this is absolutely what I am going to keep here. Another option you could throw in here is just throwing Sunfire in here and keeping Dormammu for offense, because there's a great counter to Spider Society with Eternals. Tangled and Dorm is a great counter. So there is an option for that. Like I said, I wanted to try to give you guys options this week for defense because I am a full turtle. But you could take out Dorm here, use him for offense, and then put, you could also put Nightcrawler or Sunspot in here, but I think Nightcrawler is way better in a different room, which we're going to talk about right now. All right, room number 2. This is my favorite room next to probably Hide the Pickle, because that was also a hilarious room. We've got 2 pre-taunters, Old Man Logan, Sunspot, and Nightcrawler. I am sticking with this because this room has not been one-shot yet. Can it be one-shot, though? Yes, it can. But the one-shots that go into this take so much to take it out. Either it's Cabal or it's a very big team with APOC and Red Hulk to be able to take this out, and it's still not the best team to take in here. So this is what I'm going to keep. If you do end up having that Sunspot in room number 1 because you want Dormammu for offense, I would say throw in another X-Men in here. If you have a decent-sized X-23, that's perfectly fine. A Jubilee could be thrown in here. You could throw in some options here. This one, it doesn't really matter, honestly, but another X-Men would be good because it gets the buffs from Phoenix. It gets the buffs from Nightcrawler. They'll spawn with Dodge. All that kind of good stuff. So there's a lot of options to have with this that you guys could absolutely do. That's not Sunspot if you do have him in room number 1. But this room has been an absolute wasteland for some people trying to take this out, and it's absolutely hilarious, and I love every part of it. So that's why I'm going to keep this as my room number 2. Let's get to the next one. Coming in to room number 3, and we are keeping Lizard on defense, and I don't regret this at all. Lizard is an absolute monster on defense with Superior 6, and he makes this room so much harder. There was only one person that could one-tap this room, and they brought in Kestrel, Hela, APOC, Doom, and someone else big. I can't remember. And it like, that's a win. Like, it's a one-shot, but I'm taking APOC and Doom off the table for you. So you can't MOE APOC. You can't APOC Rolk, a Hivemind Sus, or an Old Man Logan comp, so it's forcing your Cabal there. Like, this defense just causes so many problems, and this team here is so resilient when they're on defense. And Green Goblin, with his passive Awaken ability, now has those counterattacks as well for 40% chance. So that causes even more issues for people, and I love that. I can't wait to take Green Goblin Classic to G19 and make this defense even worse. And then the second I'm done with my first run of DD7, I'll probably be taking Doc Ock and Lizard to G19 because I'm an animal. But I don't know. Mr. Fantastic takes the same unique as Doc Ock, and Mr. Fantastic is also bio, so I may be taking him up because of the new Illuminati team, but I'm not sure yet. But yeah, Superior 6 in room number 3 is absolutely disgusting. Doc Ock is a healer to just provide way more sustain for them, because that's all this team does is just live and sustain for super long time. Striker on Slayer to get massive damage with his special and his ultimate. But yeah, this team's just nuts. Lizard, I have not lost him on offense whatsoever. Maybe a little bit against some Spider Societies, but I've made do except for round 1 of this week. Don't look at that though. Other than that, I don't need Lizard. Next room. Coming into room number 4, we've got Spider Society Black Knight. Same thing I had last week. As you can see, I'm not making a lot of changes because my defense is redonkulous, and I don't see how it gets much better, honestly. The only change I did make here is I did a little swapperoo. So this was what it was last week. I'm doing a little switcheroo because I've noticed on offense, if you sack this and then you try to New Warriors it, if the clump is here like this clump just becomes the Firestar target, and then you rewind all of them, and then all of them get that trauma, heal block, bleeds, all that good stuff. So it becomes a lot easier. But if Penny's over here, then you're not rewinding Penny, and you're getting kind of screwed because Penny is going to keep her blocks, keep her passive as well. And then also you have an issue of Spider-Gwen dodging, which can dodge the Firestar ultimate, so it won't put as many bleeds and maybe not trauma out there. And then can also dodge Deathpool's special. So Deathpool, if Deathpool's special gets dodged, Deathpool will not spread to the adjacent allies as well. So Ghost Spider can throw a little bit of RNG in here that makes even a sack and then New Warriors onto this not fun at all. There definitely are one-shots to this, but this room still takes a lot, and in conjunction with my room 2 that takes a lot, my room 3 that takes a lot, and my room 5 that takes a lot, you're getting spread pretty thin. So speaking of room 5, let's get in there. All righty, room number 5. That's right. SASQUATCH is going on defense. And the reason why is SASQUATCH is a pre-taunt, essentially. So he's not a pre-taunt in the sense that he spawns with taunt. But he is a pre-taunt in the sense that anytime someone takes a turn and he's over 50% health, he gains taunt for 2 turns. So essentially, he's a pre-taunt. And what this does is this makes that Hulk comp not be able to come in here, because Red Hulk will not rewind Super Scroll or Void Knight. What are you going to do then? You have to Cabal it. And then that means you won't have Cabal for room number 2. And that means you won't have Cabal if you really want to take it into room 3 or room 4. This just takes Cabal off the board, and it counteracts that Red Hulk combo that we have been seeing take over the meta as of recently. So that pre-taunt dead center, and the reason why it's dead center is I still want Sus and Void Knight on opposite ends. So instead of doing this, because then Sus and Void Knight would be next to each other, that's why this placement is better. I do have Fortifier on SASQUATCH. He's 2 red, 2 yellow, nothing big whatsoever, but he is G18 level 100. But he's just there to get the taunt and mess up the Red Hulk from being able to special and either rewind that Super Scroll to make that comp work. This has been an absolute nuisance on defense, and I can't wait to see my opponents try to bash their head into this to figure it out without using Cabal. And with that, let's get into room number 6. Room number 6 has not changed at all. We're still using Infinity Watch Quicksilver because there's nothing else that really is better that goes in here that won't take away from my offense. So like, could I throw Secret Defenders in here? Yes, but I use Secret Defenders on offense every single day. Could I throw a Spider-Man Noir in here? Maybe, but like, it's not that big of a deal. I use Eternals every time. You see that new G19 Eternals, Icarus there. There's really nothing else that I can put in here, and this still takes a good team. This either takes somebody who has a massive Infinity or a massive Pegasus to take it out, and even then it's not the cleanest fight, a massive Hive Mind to take it out, or they're using Eternals Entangled here. And any of those are completely fine with me because there's really nothing else good that goes in here that doesn't take away from my defense in other rooms. So I'm fine with this being in room 6, and I'm absolutely going to keep it that way. But that is it for room 6. All right, guys, that is my defense. So as you can see, not much changing from week 5. It seems like we're rounding out that wheel and we're finding what is best. We are adding that pre-taunt to room number 5 to just really, really mess with people. And that's really the only change we made, because my defense did extremely, extremely well. And I only lost 1 round. So why change that much if I'm only losing 1 round? But until next time, this has been Doolum. Later, y'all.